This is video 6.1, and our goal for this video is to just review the strategies to solve all types of problems. So you're going to see the word solve a lot in math, and it means different things every time. Okay, we're just going to look at equations right now, or systems of equations, and what it means to solve. So some strategies for that. So first off, always know what you are solving for, and predict what form your answer will take. So we're predicting what our answer is going to look like, okay? And we have to know what we're solving for. So if we're given the following equations, and it says, the instructions would say, solve the system. Before I even start, I want to look, and I want to think about what this will look like. I see two equations, I see x's and y's, and the instructions say solve the system. That tells me that I'm going to solve everything in front of me, and I want two answers. I want two answers because I have two variables. Whenever I solve a system, I'm going to solve for multiple variables. Okay? This might be obvious to you, but in a month from now, it might say solve the system on a test, and you'll be like, oh crap, what do we do again? How do I do that? But know that your answer will be a pair of numbers, not just a single number. A lot of you forget to solve for the whole thing. So I review my strategies that I have to put the equations together. In this case, I'm going to use elimination. So I'm going to just add the two equations together because I notice the x's will eliminate. And I'm going to add the y's together and get 10y. And I'm going to add the right-hand side together and get negative 10. One more step and I'll have my answer for y. Looks like y is negative 1. So most students stop here and say, ta-da, I got an answer. But wait, think about the form your answer will take. This answer will be a system. So negative 1 is my y, but I have to find x. Okay, whenever you need to find one variable and you have the other, you simply plug it in. So I'm going to take my first equation, it doesn't matter which one I use, and I'm going to substitute in for y. I'm going to put negative 1 in for y. So it'll replace and look like this. And then I'm going to solve. So 4x minus 8 equals 20. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I get 4x equals 28. And last but not least, divide by 4 to get the x's alone. X is 7. This is my final answer. The ordered pair, 7 and 1, negative 1. So you could write it as the following, an ordered pair like this. These are the two ways to give your answer. But a system should have multiple answers, one for each variable. In this case, x and y. Let's take a look at the next example. This one says solve for y. So I take a look at my equation and I get sidetracked because I see x, but the instructions say solve for y. Whenever they say solve for a variable, I know the answer is going to look like this. Y equals something. If that's the variable I'm solving for, that's what the form of my answer. It will be y equals. So that tells me that I need to get y alone. So I see the equation, and I solve for y. So I need to get rid of the 6x. So I'm going to add 6x because that'll make it a 0. Okay, now the y's are alone on the left-hand side. I have 3 y's. But on the right-hand side, these are not like terms. So these cannot be added together. I'm simply going to write them separately. There's still two terms over there, 6x and there's a negative 12. Keep an eye on your goal. Once you know the form your answer will take, it helps you focus your problem. Forget about the right-hand side and worry about the left. Get rid of the 3. And I know I do that by dividing by 3. Now y is alone. But what I do to the left, I have to do to the right. So I'm going to divide everything by 3. 6 x's divided by 3 gives me 2 x's. When 6x is divided by 3, I get 2x. Now I'm going to do negative 12 divided by 3. When I do negative 12 divided by 3, I get negative 4. So my solution is 2x plus negative 4. And I'm done because I got the solution for y. I got y alone. Yes, x is in my answer, but that's because x was in the problem. Okay, the next example. Solve for x. So I know the form is going to be x equals something. So my ultimate goal is to get x alone. Now I look at the problem. I see x's everywhere, really, and I see parentheses. But I need to get x alone. I also know I have to get rid of parentheses first, just like order of operations. So how do I get rid of those parentheses? I think back to what I know, and I know the way to get rid of those parentheses is to multiply it out using a generic rectangle. So I'm going to work my multiplying. I'm going to multiply in each corner. This should be review. So I'm going fast. But inside this box is the same value as these two parentheses. So I'm going to replace those parentheses with x squared minus 7x plus 12. That's the left-hand side of my equation. Those two are equal. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but on the right-hand side, because it has parentheses as well. So I'm going to take care of the parentheses by using my generic rectangle. X plus 1, x minus 6. Filling it in. 1x, negative 6, negative 6 x's. So the right-hand side is equal to x squared. Let's see, these two make negative 5x, and then negative 6. So I've successfully gotten my problem and gotten rid of the parentheses that were originally in this problem. Now I just need to solve. So my goal is to get the x alone. I see x squared, so why don't I get rid of those? Because I can take one of those off of both sides, and they're gone. Okay, so I minus that from both sides, and they're gone. I'm left with negative 7x plus 12 equals negative 5x minus 6. And now it looks a lot more normal. I'm just going to get the x's together, so why don't I add 5x? And I get negative 2x plus 12 equals negative 6, because this x's went away. A couple more steps here. I'm going to take away the 12. That will get my negative 2x's alone. Now I'm left with negative 2x on the left and negative 18 on the right. And last but not least, divide by negative 2. I got my answer. I look back to see if this makes sense with what I thought the answer would look like. So remember, we saw the original instructions up here that said solve for x. And that means that my solution will take the form x equals. And it looks like that's what I got at the end. So I'm done. My answer is 9. So if you think through what you're going for and what you're headed for, what your answer will look like, I think you'll have much more success not making those small mistakes that some of you are often doing. So the front side of this worksheet should help you get more practice with that. Think carefully about what the answer will look like. Try not to make silly mistakes when solving these different types of problems. The backside will continue to review your factoring abilities. So good luck, and make sure you ask your teacher questions if you have any misunderstandings or concerns about how to do some of these